Down the sound and listen in to full live commentary here on Sports Sound with Alan Preston, Craig Levein and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks, Richards. This could be really special. Tynecastle, a sea of maroon and white, and positively rocking with the sound and sense of anticipation. Only a win will do for Hearts tonight, but if the players can harness the energy inside the stadium this evening, they will be tough to stop. The 800 or so FC Zurich fans who've made the journey across to Scotland are making a fair old racket and a bit of a scene themselves across their left in the school end. And there's flags waving, flares and smoke bombs going off, and a throng of police and stewards around them to keep them off the pitch, if that's what they're minded to do. But the Hearts fans boo the visitors as they go into a huddle. The Hearts players are ready to get us underway here. They are in all maroon tonight as they look to turn this tie around. Zurich, their opponents, in all whites. The referee is Laurens Visser of Belgium. And the sense of excitement and optimism. I know Alan Preston mentioned a nervousness. Of course there's a nervousness as well, with so much at stake, but you really do feel that something out of the ordinary could be in the offing here at Tynecastle tonight. Ahead through Lawrence Shankland early on in Zurich. They were pegged back, but the man who scored the winning goal last week, Blerim Jemaili, is not available to FC Zurich tonight. He is injured, and that's the only change to the starting lineup as far as they're concerned, with Sheikh Kondi coming into the midfield in his place. Hearts making 3 changes from last week's lineup, with Smith, Forrest and Boyce coming in for Atkinson, the injured Halkett and Haring. Hearts are ready. It'll be George Grant to kick us off. Zurich chase down the kick-off, and away we go as Kingsley knocks it long, and Boyce immediately gets the flick on to the edge of the box. Grant looking interested. It's hacked away from the edge of the penalty. Cochrane returns it, and it's out of play for a Hearts throw. And I think we can say early on that it is a Hearts back 4, as we were debating what might be the best way for them to line up. But here come Zurich testing that back 4 right now, and it's Guerrero, the man who scored a stunning equaliser out in St Gallen last weekend. And the Swiss will be keen to silence this raucous crowd early doors. If they can, it would be a long way back for Hearts. So important for Hearts, you would imagine, Craig Levein, to strike the first blow in this game.
Yeah, and it's frantic, as you would expect. Hearts are on the front foot, and they need to stay on the front foot as long as possible. It'll be interesting to see what Zurich do, whether they try and press the back line. Looking at it early on, I'm not sure if they will.
Hearts pick up on the right hand side, and it's Forrest playing short to Devlin, and then back to Michael Smith, who came on as a substitute across in Switzerland. Now it's Mackay looking to lift one over the top for Shankland in the same manner as he did against Hibs on the opening day of the league season. That doesn't quite come off. Zurich have it back and play it down the right hand side. Rowles, who's playing left of the two in the centre, with Kingsley, as Alan predicted, on the right hand side, more accustomed to playing certainly with Michael Smith than with Craig Gordon. As Mackay finds Boyce on the left hand side. His cutback's a poor one and it's knocked away. Alan Preston, that is the first big chance.
Brilliant from Mackay already. What a pass that was. Boyce gets it all wrong, just doesn't get enough on the ball. He's got players coming in, can't get a good enough connection on it, I'm afraid, but great ball from Barry Mackay.
Yeah, great vision, what we've become accustomed to seeing from him. He really sees passes, Craig, that others simply don't.
Yeah, and it's a good combination. I think both Shankland and Boyce are actually the type, very clever darting runs they make round about the penalty box, and Mackay sees everything and invariably finds them. And he found Boyce in that situation, and it's just required a very simple left-footed pass across the face of the goal, and he just screwed it and didn't quite catch it properly. But it was encouraging from Barry Mackay.
2.5 gone at Tynecastle, 0-0 on the night. 2-1 Hearts trail. They've got a free kick out on the right hand side. Michael Smith made a run forward looking for the free kick to be taken quickly, but George Grant wants to delay things and just allow Kingsley and Rowles to head up and offer their aerial threat as Zurich hold the line about 25 yards from their goal. The free kick is just a couple of yards in from the touchline on the right hand side. Cochrane's going across to potentially take it as well. It's only about 15 yards inside Zurich territory as the Hearts fans really get behind their side. Fabulous atmosphere. It is Grant who sends it in. It's flicked on by Shankland, but it's comfortably into the arms of the Zurich captain Yannick Brecker, their goalkeeper, who will bowl it out overarm to the left hand side. And the boos ring out round Tynecastle as the opposition try and string a few passes together. It's back with Brecker in his penalty area, knocks it long. Smith's beaten in the air. Kingsley lets it bounce, which is always dangerous, but it will be a free kick as he's challenged unfairly by Bogdan Vunik, the Ukrainian striker. And Hearts get it moving quickly. 4 minutes played at Tynecastle. Goalless is Barry Mackay, who's hugging the left touchline early on. Knocks it back to Cochrane. Now it's Kingsley. Hopefully Hearts won't miss that presence of Craig Halkett in there too much, having to go off early on in the first leg. Cochrane slides it forwards. Shankland tried to let it run, didn't quite come off, and it breaks for Vunik on the halfway line. He's taken down by Rowles, and that will be an FC Zurich free kick. 4 minutes in, Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0.
Well, we've seen the booking given for that particular situation. Rowles just, he just brought him down, and I thought the referee was very, very lenient there. I was expecting a yellow card.
And perhaps again the earliness of the challenge in the game is what lets Rowles off, but clearly Hearts are up for this, as you would expect, all the way back from Omar Agic to his goalkeeper Brecker, and then he knocks it up towards the halfway line. Cochrane returns it. It's Omar Agic once more under a bit of pressure from Mackay up to the halfway line. Vunik knocks it back to Condé, looking to find Marquesano. It's actually picked up by Guerrero. Now Marquesano picks up over on the left hand side. Zurich, who certainly didn't start the first leg particularly well, but really came into the game after having gone behind and turned it round. As Selnej loses out in the middle of the park, and it's Kingsley just on the edge of his own penalty area, knocks it back to skipper Craig Gordon, who's of course back in the starting lineup, having been rested at Celtic Park at the weekend. And Ross Stewart turned in a pretty good performance, but couldn't prevent Hearts going down by 2-0. A much change Hearts side from that game. 7 changes altogether from that one. Only Cochrane, Rowles, Forrest and Boyce surviving from the starting 11 at Celtic Park. The same can be said almost to a greater extreme for FC Zurich, who were in Swiss Cup action against third-tier Cham at the weekend, and only Condé and Metz survived from that one. It was effectively a second string as they cruised to a 4-0 victory. 6 minutes in at Tynecastle, no real efforts on goal, but Boyce certainly had an opening early on here on the left channel, but just couldn't get his cross into the 6-yard box or into the danger area, and the chance was gone. But Hearts have it at the back, played between the Australian Rowles and Kingsley. He plays it out to Cochrane on the halfway line, left hand side, arrows it out to the far side. A wonderful ball for Forrest, who brings it under control and then pokes it forward. Shankland was trying to release Grant, who'd made the darting run forward. Zurich intercepted, but Hearts have it back, and they've started confidently, Craig.
Yeah, I mean that's brilliant work by Devlin. He gets to his man very, very quickly, managed to steal him back, and he gets a standing ovation almost from the supporters around us.
I think it's really important, Craig, that he sits a bit deeper, because Abdi is the one that's going to sit in behind.
Well, I think he's going to do that.
He's got to, because there's times out, even at this early part of the game, where they've gone 3 for 3 Zurich up front. If one of the Hearts fullbacks goes forward, they're quite comfortable to say, OK, we'll just go man for man, we'll play 3 up front against your 3.
Yeah, Devlin playing the Peter Haring role, with Haring on the bench this evening. Maybe not quite at his best in the last couple of games. As Hearts build from the back, it's Grant for Forrest. Smith just take a heavy touch as he tried to go down the right hand side. It's knocked forward, but Kingsley read it, but here come Zurich. As Alan said, they're not shy about bringing players forward. It's Vunik whose shot is charged in. It comes out to the right hand side though, and Boranijasevic flights it in, but it's tamely behind for a Hearts goal kick. Almost 8 minutes on the clock at Tynecastle. It's Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0.
Alan, we haven't talked about Lawrence Shankland's header from 23 yards.
Yeah, the free kick. I think Derek Johnson scored one for Scotland many years ago.
That's the only one I can remember?
Yeah, but I can't see Lawrence Shankland doing that.
Not much of a test for Yannick Breker in the Swiss goal on that occasion, as Shankland loses out to Criezio on the halfway line, but Hearts have it back, and it's Smith over on the far side, the Hearts right, just checks his run. Marquesano trying to stick with him. It was quite pleasing, Craig, to see that Jemali wasn't in the squads that travelled to Edinburgh for this one, because he was certainly one of the brighter lights last Thursday.
Yeah, he certainly was. I mean, one player doesn't make a team, you know, and I think that in the last sort of 2 or 3 minutes we've seen Zurich being a wee bit slicker with their passing.
Boyce trying to link with Mackay, but Mackay had gone the opposite direction, and Zurich pick up and forward they come, and it's RDI trying to find Vunik, but back went Michael Smith, read the danger and just knocks it back to Craig Gordon, and immediately plays it out to Devlin. Hearts would love to get an early goal to really
they would love to get an early goal, but you've got to remember they've got 90 minutes to get one. They need to get one. They've got 90 minutes to get it, and then if they can get another one, great. But there's no real rush to get the goal right away. It would be brilliant, but to be in the tie you need to get one, and it takes 90 minutes. It takes 90 minutes.
Well, I'm sure the Hearts fans would take a goal at any point if it meant that they could take it at least to extra time. But here's Boyce trying to bring it about early in the tie. It's a good ball back to Devlin, but 30 yards from goal. Plays it short to Forrest. Knocked into the penalty area. Shankland gets the flick to the back post. Mackay gets out his feet, goes for goal, takes a deflection. Boyce is there, flicks it into the penalty area. Grant can't connect, but Boyce was offside. The flag's up on the far side. 10 minutes in, and it's still goalless.
Yeah, that was good play by Hearts. Very patient there, actually. They managed to get the switch of play out the far side. Ball across into the box, which I think is something that they need to do. They need to get behind the Zurich defence and get crosses in, because both Shankland and Boyce love attacking crosses. So they need to try and get down both sides, get as many balls in the box as they can.
Craig, when you just look at Zurich where they go, Mascherano then stands behind Grant. Their front three move all over the place. They rotate, they don't stand still, they're difficult to pick up. So
it's
really
important that the Hearts players maintain their discipline, stay in their positions, and don't follow in runners in those situations can mean that the players are all over the place.
With Grant doing
Mark
well
the space,
out to Forrest.
that's the thing.
Right hand side up towards the penalty area, breaks back to Grant on the right hand side. Now he's moving in to the edge of the penalty area, back to Devlin, plays it square for Mackay. Mackay again looking to get it on the right foot, plays it out to Forrest just inside the penalty area. Smith's on the overlap, doesn't use him, but he does now. Smith into the penalty area, headed away at the near post. As Zurich survive, but it's good Heart pressure. Devlin's won it back already, and the home fans liking what they're seeing so far.
Such an intelligent football player, Mackay. He's magnificent. He's involved in everything that's good for Hearts. There's a chance here for Michael Smith. Could he hang it up, just pick it out at the back post? He drills it in and it's headed away.
Devlin just inside his own half, just clips it over to this near side, the Hearts left, for Cogden on the halfway line. Out to Mackay, who again is right out on the touchline. Back the way it goes to Rowles, and Mackay picks up once more just inside his own half. Rowles again, just a little bit deeper, and then square to Kingsley. Out to Smith on the far touchline, the right hand side.
Alan, you know I much prefer Barry Mackay. I hate when he gets stuck out in the side, because there's long spells of the game when he doesn't receive the ball. I like when he starts to drift inside and take more sort of responsibility.
Yeah, here he is moving in off the left touchline, gets it from Boyce, clips it back in for Boyce, and he just couldn't reach that return ball, and it's clutched by Breker, but Liam Boyce within inches of connecting to Mackay's return.
But again there, Mackay's involved, and you're right, Craig, get him on the ball. He's the most creative player that Hearts have got. Can you get him on the ball? who can cause all sorts of concern.
Playing in a 4-4-2, you know, it would be great if he could just drift inside at times and take up more central positions. I know he's got to maintain his shape and his discipline, and he does that, but for me he's the most creative player on the pitch.
Well, he's worked back and won the ball for his side on the halfway line, and then receives it back once more from Devlin. It does look like he's in the mood tonight. Barry Mackay looking to get involved, but is starting out on the left hand side of a 4 in midfield. As Smith plays it in and gets it back from Forrest. Slightly wayward pass all the way back to Craig Gordon, but he dealt with it comfortably, and it gets it out to Alex Cochrane. 13 minutes played, still goalless as Cochrane fires it from left to right. It's Forrest, just slips but manages to collect the possession. Grant's with him. Forrest comes into the left. Shot's a good save from Brecker. Forrest really got a hold of that on the left foot, and Brecker pushed it away to safety, and then Zurich clear the lines. But that's the first real test of the Swiss keeper. Really good hit from Forrest. Yeah,
it was good play by Forrest. He's come in on his left-hand side, and I mean, it looked as if from here that the shot was definitely on target, but he had a huge amount of power in the shot on his left-hand side.
Rowles has it for Hearts, out to the left for Cochrane, inside his own half, just plays it down the line, but it's out of play from Cochrane, and at left back tonight will be a Zurich throw, but real good effort there from Alan Forrest. Alan,
that was brilliant. Yeah, really good play. You'd like to see a man go down the outside and get crosses in, but he cuts inside on his left foot, and you see his brother's done it for Celtic for years, but his brother normally hits it with the outside of his right foot. He's quite comfortable to hit it with his left. Really good hit, good save.
The referee wants a word with Cam Devlin and Bogdan Vunik, who coming together at the throw in here.
I'm sure that won't be the last word he has with Devlin.
Honestly.
Hearts have won it back, and it is Devlin digging away there to take possession. Mackay with a lovely swivelling away from his man, and finds Boyce. Boyce back to Grant. Hearts playing well in these opening 15 minutes, no goals to show for it as yet. Forrest has come closer than anyone, stinging the palms of Yannick Brecker just a couple of minutes ago. Here's Smith on the Hearts right, into the feet of Forrest. It might have been aimed at Shankland actually, and Forrest couldn't control it, and it breaks the way of Vunik, who comes forward. Out to the left hand side it goes to Avdiay. Boos ring out for the former Hearts player, although it's been rather kind describing him as such, with only 3 appearances to his name. And Craig Gordon collects a loose through ball. Quarter of an hour gone. There's a Zurich player down just outside the penalty. It's Ollie Selnage, and I suspect while the score's 0-0 this evening, Craig, will see a fair old bit of this from the FC Zurich players.
Yeah, and I think whenever there's a spell when Hearts are on top, the clever players in the Zurich side will, I'm not saying he's feigning injury, but just to kill the momentum and try and take the rhythm away from Hearts.
It's all part of the game, I'm afraid. You'd expect Hearts to do the same if they were in command of the tie, but there's nothing in it at all.
Craig Gordon knocks it long with Selnage back on his feet, knocked out for a throw-in off the head of Becir Omaragic, who, as I mentioned last week, has been linked with the likes of West Ham over the course of this summer, but still with about a week of the transfer window remaining. An FC Zurich player. Cochrane fires another brilliant ball out to the right hand side from Forrest, the full width of the pitch. Here's Forrest into the penalty area. Smith now lending a hand. Poor ball in from him, and Forrest couldn't gather it. It's knocked out for a throw in on the far side. Still the home fans urging their side forward. They have been impressed by what they've seen in the early stages. It's Devlin into the feet of Grant. Now out to Smith. Just flicks it forward for Forrest. That's not a bad ball in, but Brecker's able to clutch that before Shankland can make anything of it. And with the 17 minutes on the clock, it remains Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0 on the night.
It's a brilliant ball in from Forrest, but Michael Smith's been in really good crossing positions the last 2 occasions, and he's not managed to get the ball beyond the front man. He has to pick his head up and try and pick out a man if he can.
Well, Grant's been penalised and he's going to earn a yellow card. I think that might be more for the reaction than the initial challenge. He came in from the side, I would say, and made the challenge on Marquesano. The referee blew up Craig for the free kick, and Grant didn't like it.
Yeah, I think Devlin's was worse than that actually earlier on, so I could see why he's upset that he's received the yellow card.
So it will be a free kick to FC Zurich, just inside the Hearts half. Certainly didn't appear to be a yellow card challenge, but the dissent shown by the midfielder might perhaps have just encouraged the referee to produce the yellow card for the first time this evening after almost 18 minutes. So Zurich looking to try and get a 2-goal advantage in the tie. That's swept in towards the back post. Craig Gordon thought about trying to catch it, just leaves it, knew it was going behind harmlessly for a goal kick, and after 18 it remains 2-1 to Zurich on aggregate. That's the scoreline from the first leg. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, on Sounds on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, as well as 810 medium wave and online. The game is being shown on BBC Scotland television as well, if you are in a position to see the pictures. Here comes Zurich trying to threaten the Hearts goal, which they've failed to do so far. Condé almost robbing Boyce there, breaks the way of Cochran in the left back position, knocks it forward. It's a loose one though, and cut out by Borani Jasovic. Avdiay, it'll be another Zurich free kick. Vunik went down under the challenge of Devlin, and again the pair exchanging opinions. Mackay getting involved as well, just becoming a little bit niggly down there, and the referee has to step in. The assistant has come onto the pitch as well, and Devlin and Avdiay seem to have made up a hug between the players, I think, to try and discourage the referee from flashing any more cards. And it's Barry.
Well, you saw a very rare thing there. It was a poor touch by Barry Mackay. That's extremely unusual.
He's getting a talking to at the moment, he and Vunik, from the referee, and it will be ultimately an FC Zurich free kick to be taken by Marquesano, about midway inside the Hearts half, slightly right of centre, and certainly an opportunity here to load the box for the visitors and try and quieten down this Tynecastle crowd. The Zurich fans themselves still making plenty of noise away off to our left hand side as Marquesano lines up the free kick, sends it. It's a good ball in. Yeah, Alan's called it correctly. The assistant's flag went up. Hearts holding a good line, and it will be a free kick, but it was a good delivery from Marquesano, and it looked dangerous just for a moment. The offside flag up to halt their progress. 20 minutes gone, 0-0 on the night. 2-1 Hearts trail on aggregate as they try to get into the Europa League group stage for the very first time. Zurich looking to get back in for the first time since 2018-2019, when they finished second in their group behind Bayer Leverkusen. Here come Hearts down the right hand side in a good position. Can they pick out? Man, it's Shanklin with a rather tame effort in the end from about 8 yards. Couldn't get any purchase on it at all, and Zurich clear the line. Smith has kept it alive. The Hearts fans thought he was being fouled. The referee allows play to continue with Hearts still in possession for another half a chance. Alan Preston.
Yeah, there's been some great diagonal balls out to Forrest in the early part of this game, really good, some from Cochran, and that one there was a real opportunity for him. Shanklin goes to the front post, makes a run, darts out, just can't get enough on it.
I thought Barry Mackay could have done better. I mean, he got in it to not quite the back post. He was 5 yards off it. I think if he'd continued his run, he would have had a chance of getting that cross.
Shanklin out to the left to take good control of a forward pass, then it's back to Mackay. He swings it in towards the edge of the penalty area. It's headed away though by Omar Agic, and then Zurich clear up to the halfway line though. Kingsley in the way of that one. Picked up in the middle of the park then by Mackay. Mackay slots it forward for Grant on the right hand side. Further to his right is Forrest with chalk on his boots, trying to get away from Guerrero, but Guerrero, the Spaniard, stands up to the test, just knocks it out of play. There will be a Hearts throw-in about 15 yards away from the corner flag on the right hand side. Michael Smith to take. Almost a quarter of the game gone. No goals at Tynecastle thus far. Back to Forrest and then Smith once more. Grant picks up and plays it back to Kingsley and onto the halfway line. He goes for Rowles as Hearts bring it across to the left hand side, and now Cochran slides it forward for Mackay. Mackay turns and then knocks it down the left touchline. Neither Cochran nor Boyce can get onto it, and Zurich clearance. Good play by Vunik. Now Avdiay, but across comes Kingsley, read the danger well, plays it back to his goalkeeper Craig Gordon. Avdiay clipped his ankle. I think it was, in fairness to Avdiay, it was unintentional, but the Hearts fans weren't letting him off with it. In any case, play continues. Referee not too concerned about it. It is midway point of the first half, and only really one save of note for either keeper to make, and that was Yannick Brecker pushing away Alan Forrest's effort as Barry Mackay fires another fabulous ball onto the right boot of Forrest. Forrest takes a good touch, but Guerrero sticks with him. Forrest gets Smith in support. He uses him as a decoy into the back post, but it's away by Omeragic again before Boyce can get there. Cleared away as far as Devlin. Neat back heel for Cochrane. Tries a disguised pass, doesn't come off. Breaks back for Devlin onto Rowles, and out to the right hand side for Smith. Hearts looking to try to make the breakthrough. Down the right it goes for Grant. He's made a good run almost at the goal line, but it's well blocked over there on that far side by Karel Metz and cleared away. And then down goes the Zurich player looking for a free kick. He's waved to his feet by the referee, and Hearts come forward. It's Mackay picking up midway inside the Zurich half. Cochrane's outside of him. That's where the ball goes, about 25 yards from goal. Back the way to Mackay once more. 23.5 on the clock, no goals. Here's Rowles just outside the centre circle and across to Forrest, who's seen plenty of the ball in these early stages. Guerrero and Marquesano trying to hold him up. Eventually they managed to do that between them, and it's clear away again as far as Rowles on the halfway line. Hearts keeping up the pressure as it's Cochrane picking up and then plays it square for Kingsley, and now Rowles out to the right hand side. Smith combining with Forrest. Infield comes Michael Smith, forward from right back he comes. Now it's Cochrane on the halfway line, out to the left hand side again for Mackay. Back with Cochrane, Avdiya goes to close him down, and then back to Craig Gordon. Good shape being held by the visitors, frustrating the home players who look for a gap in their back line to try to exploit. Here's Cochrane on the left hand side, still midway inside his own half. Almost 25 minutes played. Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0 in the night. 2-1 the Swiss lead. Clipped forward by Michael Smith down the right hand side. Shanklin's drifted out in that direction. Krayezu's with him. He goes back the way to Forrest, just on the angle of the box on the right hand side, in on that left foot again. Gets the shot away. It comes off the back of the Norwegian Selnes, and it's just going to squirm behind for a Hearts corner, and the home fans can get behind their side once more.
Yeah, a good period of play by Hearts, dominating possession, working it from side to side, and resulting in a corner. And let's see if we can get anything from set piece situation.
It's certainly an opportunity here on the right hand side. George Grant to take the corner kick, swings it in, Rowles attacks it, and the goalkeeper gathers inside his 6-yard area. Didn't quite get the power on the header. There was a Swiss player marking him quite closely, Rowles, and he just wasn't able to get the power in the header, and it's well taken by Brecker. But Hearts have won it back through Boyce, and now it's Mackay from the left hand side, clips it in, too much on it for Shanklin. That one's behind for a goal kick. 26 minutes on the clock. Hearts 0, Zurich 0.
There's a chance for Hearts now coming in, but he's well marked, you know, and it just drops into the keeper's arms. But really good play by Boyce, backtracking there, having to do some defensive duties, gets back, wins the ball, and Mackay's unlucky, he just overhits it. But a really good period of play by Hearts, good pressure.
I would like to see Alan. I'll just leave it out.
Fed forward into the penalty area for Shankman, breaks back to Mackay, 25 yards from goal, central area, tries to squeeze it through for Forrest. It has somehow found its way there through the legs of Guerrero. Forrest can't get the cross in, and back there goes Marquesano to pick up possession, but Forrest swung it back brilliantly. The winger's playing really well so far tonight, and he's won his side a throw down near the corner flag.
Yeah, the point I was going to make is when these crosses are coming into the box, Forrest has to get in at the back post on the far side, and Barry Mackay's got to get in at the back post. He's got to make that third man in the penalty box, and they've been a little bit reluctant to get in, because I think there's been a couple of deeper crosses, and they could have been in those situations or in the spots to win the headers.
Here's Grant on the right hand side, linking well with Smith. Munich there, back there, but Metz gets the clearance in only as far as Forrest. Michael Smith keeping it alive. Hearts keeping possession in the opponent's defensive third.
Here it comes again, the diagonal's on again.
And that's exactly what Alex Cochrane tries, out to Michael Smith this time, wins the header down to the feet of Forrest. Man comes in behind him, just can't get the pass away. Alan Forrest didn't quite realise that Marquesano was on him quite so quickly, otherwise he might have been in there. Forrest, as Shankland's bullied Omragic off the ball. It's picked up by Mackay. It's a poor ball from Mackay. Really good chance to deliver from the left hand side and the left footed cross.
Normally he'd have more composure than that. I mean, he's got a chance there to take his man on, maybe shift it onto his right foot and get a shot at goal. I'd like to see Barry be a little bit more positive in those situations.
It's been a really good spell of play from Hearts. They've hemmed them in. Zurich, they can't get out at the moment. Every one of the Zurich players within about 30 yards of their own goal.
Yeah, Munich is the furthest player forward, and he's midway inside his own half. Hearts could really do with capitalising on this pressure. You so often see when sides fail to score when they're so far on top that they are made to pay for it. And you have to imagine that at some stage the Swiss champions will have their moment in the game.
You've got to give credit to Zurich as well. I mean, they've defended all the crosses that have come into the box. They've defended them really well. They've held their shape really well. The distances between the lines have been good. It's not so easy for Hearts to make chances.
Here is Shankland just outside the penalty area. Loses out though. And Condé in there to clear, but out for a throw-in on the far side to Hearts midway inside the Zurich half. 29 minutes played at Tynecastle. No goals on the night. 2-1 Hearts trail on aggregate from the first leg. Here's Grant back to Smith. Down near the corner flag on the right hand side. Smith tries a rather elaborate back heel which doesn't come off, and Zurich are able to clear up to Munich, but he's outnumbered, and Kingsley and Rowles combine to knock it back to Craig Gordon, who's making his 79th European appearance by my reckoning this evening. 16 of those for Hearts, the rest for Celtic of course. Forward it goes from Rowles up towards Shankland, but he can't get anything on it. Zurich have it back and it's lofted forward looking for Munich. Munich and Cochrane contest it. Munich hits the deck and it's actually going to be a free kick to Hearts for his challenge on Cochrane. There's certainly no danger of it ever being a penalty, but Munich didn't stop Munich claiming for that as he went down in the 50-50 with Cochrane.
Yeah, to be fair to the referee, I mean, there's 3 or 4 situations where players have tried to buy fouls. He's called them all correctly.
I think he's a good game so far, the ref.
Yeah, not been fooled by the players going down rather easily. We've played half an hour now at Tynecastle, still no goals, but Hearts certainly having the better of the opening half hour. Alan Preston,
they have, they've been excellent, and clearly something that Robbie and the management team have worked on, the diagonals out to Forrest. Cochrane's hit about 4 or 5 lovely diagonals over the top of the fullback. That's a clip there as well.
Yeah, Kingsley
a
caught
bad one
by Selnej on the halfway line. Gets to his feet. There will be a Hearts free kick. Quickly taken. Devlin to Rowles, and Kingsley's okay. He plays it to Smith. Back it goes to the Australian Rowles in the centre circle. In square again for Kingsley. Forrest comes in, offers himself shot. That's where the ball goes, over on the right hand side, just inside Zurich territory. And now back once more with the Rowles. Forward to his fellow Aussie, Cam Devlin. And now square again for Kingsley. Smith on the right hand side, coming in off that touchline, plays it back to Devlin. Devlin waits for Condé to come closer and then plays the pass back to Rowles. Boyce back in the halfway line to collect possession. Plays it short to Smith. Out to the right hand side on the touchline is Forrest. Boyce has made the forwards run down that right channel. That's where the ball goes. Boyce tries to fire it in, but it's come off the Swiss defender Crejeju. Hearts have it back once more. It's Grant for Forrest on the right hand side. He's taken on Guerrero. He's done well. Hits the byline. Fires it across goal. Boyce couldn't make the connection. Cleared only as far as Grant. Blocked again. And there's going to be a free kick for Zurich inside their own penalty area. Not sure what that one was given for, but another really good opening for Hearts.
Yeah, that was great play, and the ball into the box was much better this time. It was just absolutely hammered across the face of the goal. It could have gone anywhere, but eventually it was managed to get cleared by the Zurich defence.
That was brilliant play by Forrest. Smashed it across, and it's Boyce that's trying to get on the end of it. Then it comes back, and it's an effort that the referee blows up. Good play again by Forrest.
Boyce caught by Condé. That is a yellow card for the midfielder. The Ghanaian international is the first FC Zurich player in the book for catching Boyce inside the centre circle. Just caught him just after Boyce had nicked the ball away from him. Cam Devlin having a word in the referee's ear, just adding his tuppence worth, not for the first or last time.
When Boyce comes deeper like that, especially when you're playing 4 across the middle, when he comes deeper, he's really clever. You know, he manages to play the forward passes. A lot of the time we've been going side to side. He drops down a little bit lower, and then the whole thing speeds up.
I think that was a lot of success last year because Sims took the pressure off him. He played the one right up, which allowed Boyce to come off and play in that 10 because he's very clever.
He hasn't done that so often today, Alan, and he's been higher up the field, and that's the first time I can remember him coming down into that area that really causes problems for the opposition midfield.
33 minutes on the clock. Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0 as Hearts tried to peg back the 2-1 advantage the Swiss built up in the first home leg, as Cochrane clips it across field to Smith, who immediately gets it forward to Grant infield for Devlin. Devlin a lovely little flick between his legs to sail the dummy, and then knocks it back to Rowles, and out to the left hand side it comes to Mackay, midway inside the Zurich half, clips a lovely ball into Boyce. Boyce just takes a slightly heavy touch, but he does get it back. It's Forrest with a chance. Oh, it's a well blocked behind. A really good saving challenge by Krieju to knock it behind for a corner. It opened up for Alan Forrest, but he just couldn't get the shot away in time, and it's a corner kick to Hearts.
I watched the defender, he celebrates like he scored the goal there. What a block that is, what a chance.
Yeah, I think the shot's on target, Al. I don't know who it was, I don't know which defender it was, but he's thrown himself in front of the shot.
Krieju, it was Milan Krieju. It will be a corner kick from the right hand side. The referee just having a words in the 6-yard area with Shanklin and a couple of defenders as Hearts press for the opening goal on the night. Grant, right hand side, swings it in, knocked away to the edge of the box, picked up by Forrest, who's been excellent, but perhaps could have just got the shot away a fraction of a second earlier. A moment ago, Devlin out to the right hand side, Grant still out there, skips past his marker to the byline, he goes, it's a wonderful ball and it's knocked away by Omeragic, only as far as Mackay, plays it square, Kingsley with his shot, that might break for Grant, can he square it? Oh, the offside flag is up on the far side. I don't think that's right. I must say I think it was onside. As it turned out, it came to nothing, and in any case he picked out a poor ball, but Grant is flagged and it will be a free kick, and it will remain with 10 minutes of the first half to play. Hearts 0, FC Zurich
we'll go over to VAR here. Alan's over having a look at the television, so we'll get a replay from him.
Just offside.
Well, stand corrected. But again, it's good pressure from Hearts, isn't it? Working good openings.
Yeah, they've switched the ball really well. I think, I don't know, they seem to be very aware of Barry Mackay's abilities, and he's well marked. He's not been on the ball that often.
There's a slip there at the back, and it might allow Shanklin to profit here. Oh, it's a terrible ball from Shanklin. With Forrest was the only man he could try and pick out at the back post, and he gets so much on the attempted cross, and he acknowledges the poor ball.
I mean, there was no chance of finding Forrest, and there was 3 defenders back. You got to either take a shot at goal or take the guy on and maybe try and shift it and then shoot.
Okay, just go at him, right down his throat. He's in the box. He's not going to be able to tackle you. He's in the box. Just go right at him. Be positive.
Well, FC Zurich, I don't want to jinx Hearts here, but FC Zurich haven't been seen as an attacking force in the game. It's been all Hearts going forward. They've not been able to find that breakthrough goal that would square the tie on aggregate as yet. But as Alan said, there's 90 minutes to find that one goal. Well, there's about 55 remaining, but they can be very pleased with the way they've started the game, certainly, as Cochrane knocks it down the left channel. Both Mackay and Boyce are there. Boyce leaves it to Mackay. Oh, it's a brilliant ball from Mackay. Boyce onto the left foot, should have taken the shot. It's not behind for a corner, but he's got to shoot there, Alan.
He's must hit it. It's brilliant play between the two of them, Mackay and Boyce, and it's on his good right foot, and we're right behind it. Try and hit it into the far corner, bend it round the keeper.
They just tried to be too clever, didn't they?
That's it.
It was a brilliant pass, wasn't it? Barry Mackay spotted the run of Boyce, and he's played it right into his path, and normally you see Boyce shift it on his right foot and have a blast at goal.
Corner kick on the left-hand side this time. Grant's taking it short to Cochrane. It's a dummy from Forrest. It's Mackay. It's blocked by Zurich. That was a training ground move that didn't quite come off. Mackay was closed down before he could get the shot away, really. And it breaks back to Smith in the centre circle. Forward it comes, looking for Forrest. It was a well-worked move, you'd have to say, before the block came in on Mackay. As Hearts win it back once more. They've done that very well, winning the ball back anytime they've coughed up possession. 7.5 minutes left of the opening period here at Tynecastle. No goals on the night. Hearts trail by 2-1. Another little shimmy by Cam Devlin to move away from Selnage. He's done that a couple of times and it's worked well for the Australian. Back from Smith to Kingsley, midway inside the Hearts half. It's Royals now. Plays a short ball for Devlin, just outside the centre circle in his own half. Then out to the right hand side for Smith. Slides it forward further on as Shankland. Shankland up against Prieju, knocks it behind for another Hearts corner. Out on the right hand side, he's matched Shankland well so far, Prieju, to be fair. And it will be another corner.
Yeah, that's the type of run that's needed. Either the strikers or maybe Grant comes inside, Michael Smith goes higher and wider, and then Grant makes an in-to-out run down the side, and that time there it was Shankland that did it, and he gets a corner out of it. But Devlin's been magnificent so far.
Yeah, he's been brilliant.
It's going to be Cochrane to take this corner kick on the right hand side, the left-footed in-swinger, you would imagine, into the 6-yard box. Shankland gets something on it, but it will be another corner. The defender got the last touch. It'll be a corner out on the left-hand side this time. 6 minutes to the break. Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0, but Hearts very much in the ascendancy.
You know, Kingsley, if that ball had continued in its flight, Kingsley's heading it home. And if the defender did get ahead to it, then he's done really, really well.
Cochrane's come all the way across to the near side to take this corner kick as well. Left-footed, this one's the out-swinger. Headed clear from the edge of the penalty area. And Zurich can come forward. It's Guerrero. Well challenged by Grant. More or less in the halfway line, just slightly inside Zurich territory. Zurich will be delighted to get to half-time at 0-0 if things continue the way they are. 5 minutes of the half to play, and they have been on the back foot for the most part, but they have stood firm, to be fair, as Craig said, defended well on the whole, limiting Hearts to a couple of decent chances. Here's Devlin picking up possession. That's his first loose pass of the night, but he's won it back. It was a poor pass by Borani Jazovic, and here comes Mackay down the left-hand side up towards the edge of the penalty area. Good challenge on him though by Borani Jazovic, winning it back, but then he's presented it straight to Cochrane, who's in a central area, fires it out to the right-hand side to Forrest. Two players around him, Guerrero's one of them. Shoulder charge comes in and out for a throw-in. Two Hearts on the far side. 4.5 minutes left in a goalless first half so far. Michael Smith in line with the edge of the penalty area, preparing to take this throw-in. Takes it to Forrest. Forrest tracked by Marquesano. Comes off Marquesano. Will be another throw-in. Quickly taken into Shankland on the edge of the box. Nudges it back to Forrest. Forrest for Cochrane. Cochrane lets fly. Takes a nick of Selnage, and yet another Hearts corner as the pressure continues to build. 0-0 though.
Looked a good hit by Cochrane. A lot of power in that left foot, deflected over. Yet another corner for Hearts, a chance to load the box again.
Third different corner taker of the night. Barry Mackay's chance to swing one in, right-footed from the left-hand side towards the back post. Brecker comes off his line. It's a good take from the Swiss captain, and then
that could be a booking.
Yeah, it will be a booking for Kai Rowles. Prevented the goalkeeper from clearing from hand, and the referee shows the Australian defender a yellow card, and that will just
that's
help.
stupid.
Yeah,
you know?
it's daft, isn't it? Just waste another few seconds for FC Zurich, who've been under the cosh.
It's not just that, a centre-back doesn't want to get booked for anything silly, because they're always, when you're making a challenge, maybe going into the second half, and you get it wrong or mistime it, then you're off. And he's created that problem for himself, so he's got to be very careful for the rest of the match.
I've seen it on Sunday with Civic. You know, yellow card late in the game, just madness.
Devlin with an interception as Zurich tries to play out from the back. Forrest down the right hand side he goes, flips it towards the back post. Boyce is there! Downward header and over the bar! So unlucky from Liam Boyce. He did everything technically right with the downward header, but it got too much on it and it bounced down and then up over the crossbar. Zurich survive. It's Hearts 0, Zurich 0 approaching half time.
Well, that can only be said. He's missed an absolute sitter.
He's got to score.
He's headed it down the way. Maybe a bit unfortunate, but Liam Boyce will be extremely disappointed that hasn't nestled in the back of the net, because it was a wonderful opportunity, a brilliant cross. He's found himself free at the back post and he heads it down into ground and it goes up over the crossbar.
I've got to say, I think Hearts have been excellent, Craig, in this opening 44 minutes. Real opportunity there for Boyce. Forrest has got the full back exactly where he wants him. Get it out to him, make him take him on time and time again.
Kingsley back to Craig Gordon, who's been a virtual spectator for this first half at Tynecastle. Boyce up contesting the high ball. Smith to the loose ball, then knocks it to Devlin. Forrest for Grant. Grant under a bit of pressure from behind from Metz. Still got it though, not for long though. Metz steps in and then flicks it down the left hand side. Zurich trying to get a bit of relief there, but RDI can't make any headway down the left hand side. It's out of play though on the far side for a Zurich throw in. 90 seconds of the opening 45 minutes remaining, and it's Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0, but Hearts have had 2 or 3 really good chances, and Liam Boyce, as the guys are saying, just missed the best of them there.
I wonder what the stats are saying. In particular, you know, Hearts have had the ball almost constantly. So, I mean, possession stats will be interesting. They've had chances. That was by far the best of them. I mean, and if the stats indicate that there aren't that many chances, then it's probably down to really good defending from Zurich.
Well, Richard and Tom in the studio will be able to bring us all these details, I'm sure, at the interval, which we are approaching now. 30 seconds left, plus any stoppage time.
Oh, I've just looked at it, 75% possession.
Yeah. That's incredible, isn't it?
10 shots at goal.
Yeah.
Zurich have had 1.
How many of those on target?
And even passes, it's 349 passes to 115.
That's
it's
complete dominance, isn't it? And nothing to show for it.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Nothing to show for it at this stage.
That goal would have been. So if you go back into the dressing room, 1-0 up, then I think it's a different game altogether at that point. So that was a poor miss by Liam Boyce.
1 minute of stoppage time. We're into that now as Zurich knock it long from the back. Michael Smith there to nod it infield. Boyce back into his own half to play it back to Rowles. Now it's Cochrane out to the left hand side for Mackay. Back to Cochrane it goes midway inside his own half. Plays it down the left. Krayeju, who got that really important block on Forrest's effort early on. That's another real opportunity that Hearts had in this first half. Down goes Condé under the challenge of Boyce, and he'll milk that for all it's worth in the final few seconds
He's saying to the ref,
of this first
Condé.
period.
Very good.
Not bad, Craig. Condé picks himself up, and it will be perhaps a final opportunity of the first half, and it will go the way of the visitors as Marquesano prepares to take the free kick. They're beyond though the minute that was to be added on, so what can they do here? Straight out for a goal kick is the answer from Marquesano, and that will do for the first half. A first half that has been almost entirely about Hearts going forward and searching for the goal they need at least to take this into extra time. Their best opening in the early stages was a Forrest shot, left-footed, after he cut in off the right-hand side, but it was pushed away by Yannick Brecker. 25 minutes in, Rowles had a header, not a clean header you'd have to say, from a corner kick, and again Brecker was able to gather that one. Just about 10 minutes before the interval, there was that block made by Krayeju as Forrest pulled the trigger from about 8 yards out, and the defender able to get it behind for a corner. And then just before half time, the best chance of all, Liam Boyce picked out by Forrest at the back post. He got a clean header, the downward header was textbook, apart from the fact that it bounced down and then up and over the crossbar. A big chance missed by the almost entirely reliable Liam Boyce, and that's why at half time at Tynecastle on the night it's Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0, 2-1 on aggregate to the Swiss.
Hearts in the Europa League playoff round.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
We have to get results. The league table doesn't lie.
Some people would say they've introduced the relegation just to get Fort William out of the league.
The jeopardy now exists.
I've never actually seen them win a league game.
This is going to be the first victory.
Can Britain's worst football team be saved from relegation?
This will be the greatest escape in history. In history.
Fight at the Fort. Watch now on BBC iPlayer.
This is Sports Sound. We're live here on BBC Radio Scotland's Hearts goalless at half-time, despite dominating the first 45 minutes. Full times from earlier in the Europa League qualifiers. Well, Larnaca have gone through. Larnaca 5-1 against Dnipro on aggregate. Ludogorets have gone through against Zalgiris of Lithuania. 3-3 draw away from home tonight to secure their progress. Omani and Nicosia 2-0 win tonight, as it was in the away leg against Ghent. HJK Helsinki have gone through. They've knocked out Silkeborg. Fenerbahce have thrashed Austria Vienna 4-1 for a 6-1 aggregate, and a very comfortable win for Malmo. 2-0 in Turkey against Sivasspor for a 5-1 aggregate success. Sheriff and Punic are currently goalless. That's 1-0 on aggregates. No, it's 0-0 on aggregate. In fact, I think that's just gone to penalty shootout, Sheriff and Punic. So it's goalless. Both matches finishing goalless, gone to penalty shootouts. Shamrock Rovers 0-0 at half-time against Ferencváros, but 4-0 down, of course, from the first leg. And Olympiacos 1-0 up on the night against Apollon and 2-1 on aggregate. So you get a sense there of the quality of teams that are going to be going through to the Europa League group stages. We wait to find out, of course, whether Hearts will be there or whether it will indeed be the Conference League that they have to look forward to for the remainder of the season. Look, they made the chances, Tom English. They've given themselves opportunities in this first half. They really should be, at worst, back on level terms, shouldn't they?
Yeah, look, bar scoring a goal, they've done everything else right. The tempo has been great. The bite, the energy, everything has been really good. 73% possession, 10-1 in terms of attempts, 6-0 in favour of Hearts in terms of corners. They've just asked all the questions, but Zurich are hanging in there. And Forrest is having a stormer. Zurich don't know what to do with him. He's seen so much of the ball. Boyce has got to score there, as the lads were saying. But pretty calm from a Hearts perspective, because if this dominance continues, you'd hope that eventually they're going to get the goal that they clearly deserve. They've been really, really good, and Zurich they've contributed absolutely nothing at all, apart from some decent last-ditch defending.
Right, we're just watching the pictures there from our television colleagues. Got a studio right up at the back of the stand there, and the Hearts fans are all gathered round the window, having a bit of fun. Anyway, goalless at half-time. It really shouldn't be goalless at half-time. I've got to say, producer James, I think I'm trying to work out who on earth the second pundit was in the telly. Michael Stewart's there, of course. And I recognised him. He's a little bit older than when I last saw him. I've just realised who, well, I haven't just realised because it's just been told who it is. Now playing elsewhere in the Premiership. I'll leave Tom to stew over that and try to work out who the hell it is.
Ryan McGowan.
It's Ryan McGowan.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just gets slightly sunburned there.
Yes. He's a bit redder than Mikey. Right, Boyce has to score. And actually, that's 10 games without a goal for Liam Boyce now, stretching back to last season. He hasn't looked sharp this season at all. And, you know, the Liam Boyce that we came to know so well in the top flight, at least one of those chances he would have shot with the other one when Mackay sets him up. He'd have shot rather than trying to go around the outside. You mentioned, and the boys mentioned it in commentary, this long diagonal to the feet of Alan Forrest is, I mean, it's certainly causing problems. It's amazing that Zurich haven't actually worked out that that's what Hearts are going to do, because Cochrane's done it 4 or 5 times, Mackay's done it. And Alan was talking there about the stats for the passing. I mean, it's just horribly set up to be one of those Scottish nights where you play so well.
Yeah, look, I mean, how many times do you see a team totally dominant, all the chances, and then they get sucker punched down the other end? They have to score fairly soon, I think, Hearts, just to get the crowd going again and get the reward. I mean, this must be very frustrating for them to be this dominant in the game, and have nothing to show for it. Very, very frustrating for them. But they put a lot of good stuff into that half. Forrest has been excellent. Mackay has been sharp when he's been on the ball. They look dangerous. They've created the chances. A lot of ticks and a lot of boxes, apart from the damn goal that's eluding them. So
well, let's hope that comes in the second half. Certainly one man who will be desperate that it comes is Gary Locke, Hearts legend, now with Brian.
Yeah, here he is, Richard. We're just having a laugh here, actually, because one of the substitutes from Zurich has just walked past us eating a pie. I'm not sure what Jim Jeffries would have made of that, Gary.
I'm not sure I would have got on if I've been caught doing that. He obviously likes the local cuisine, so hopefully enjoys the pie.
What do you make of that first half?
Yeah, I think we've done everything apart from score, Brian. You know, we've been great, played some great stuff, we've created a couple of chances. Boyce's obviously had the best chance of the game, but if we keep probing, you know, hopefully a goal will come.
It looks like they've worked on the diagonals as well, coming from Cochrane in the left out to Alan Forrest. That seems to be a weak link for Zurich.
Yeah, 100%. We've had quite a lot of joy coming down the right hand side of the pitch. If we can just, as I say, just concentrate on that final ball into the box, hopefully maybe pick somebody out in the box, we'll get the goal that obviously our player deserves.
You've been involved in many of these nights, Gary. What do you make of this atmosphere? Were you behind these disco lights actually at the start of the game?
Nah, it's been brilliant. The atmosphere's been incredible. And, you know, said that to the players. No doubt Robbie said it to the players as well. You know, it's a different night here, midweek under the lights, European night. The fans have been great so far. You know, they've really got behind the team, and you can see the players are responding to that. So, to say, the only thing missing is a goal, and hopefully we can get it this half.
Could be a long night, could be extra time, could be penalties.
It could well be, but we've obviously got to get that goal first. And, you know, they are defending quite well. They've got a bank of 5 there, and the goalkeeper's wasting time in that as well. So it's important that we keep our heads, keep playing the way we're playing, and hopefully get the goal that'll get us, you know, into the game, and then hopefully we can get a winner as well.
Just finally, Gary, what would it mean to be in the Europa League group stages for the club? I know you're involved commercially now, but there's a heightened interest now in Hearts, isn't there, because of the success?
Yeah, I think you can see that. You know, we're sold out season tickets. We've got a waiting list now, which is phenomenal. You know, I've certainly never heard of that in my time at Hearts.
15,500 season tickets.
Brilliant, it's been incredible. And obviously, you know, Celtic and Rangers, they're both in the Champions League, which is brilliant for Scottish football. If we can get into the Europa League, that would be even better. And, you know, hopefully the national team can go and win their games coming up. So things are really positive, not just for us, but for Scottish football at the minute. But as I say, we've got a big job in our hands second half. Hopefully we can get the goals that will get us through.
Fingers crossed, Gary. Good luck.
Cheers.
Yeah, well done, Gary Locke. Really positive, and so much has been positive about Hearts tonight. He did mention, Gary, there, the group stages of the Champions League. If you missed it earlier, the draw was made. It's quite nerve-wracking, actually, watching it all unfold. Fantastic for the first time in all these years to actually have a Scottish interest in it. First time in 15 years, both Celtic and Rangers in the group stages, and only the third time that's happened in the history of the competition. Rangers landed up in Group A alongside Ajax, Liverpool and Napoli. Celtic are in Group F alongside Real Madrid, Leipzig and Shakhtar Donetsk. Rangers actually got to the point where they were either going to be in that group or Group C, which featured Bayern Munich, Barcelona and Inter Milan. You've got a feel for Victoria Pilsen, who have been dropped into Group C. Maccabi Haifa won't be exactly overjoyed either in Group H alongside Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus and Benfica. I mean, it's quality right the way through. That was the excitement earlier. Some of the transfer news today: Motherwell have signed a left back, Matt Penny, on loan from Ipswich. Kilmarnock also signing a left back, Ben Cresceni, on loan from Aston Villa. In any other day, probably a few headlines might have been made by Celtic signing in the Rubin Kazan winger Sead Haksabanovic on a 5-year deal. That's been largely ignored because of the Champions League draw, and of course Hearts in action tonight. And the other signing today would have should have raised a few eyebrows. Dundee United signing a striker from the Ugandan side, Kampala Capital City Authority, Sadat Anaku. on a 2-year deal. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares. I mean, clearly their scouting network is far and wide these days.
It clearly is, and they clearly need a goal scorer. So hopefully their new signing will provide a few goals. You look at that Dundee United team, you think there should be goals in it, but they're not delivering, and they're on a horrible run. And they've got Celtic at the weekend.
Yep, and it'll be live on Sportsline. Will be live right across the weekend, of course, and there's live Championship football, BBC Scotland channel. Again, looking forward to that. It's been wonderful this season. I mean, the matches on so far. Dundee's 4-2 win against Arbroath. Partick Thistle's 4-1 win against Calais Thistle last week. Ayr United, as I noted my cost, top of the table, and the only unbeaten team in the division are at home to Dundee tomorrow night, and that's going to be a crazy. You can imagine the crackling atmosphere at the old Somerset Park when those two go head to head. So really looking forward to seeing that tomorrow night on the telly, and then all the action on Sports Sound. Join Kenny and the gang on Saturday. I'll be there with the matches on Sunday. Lots to look forward to as a live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We'll be with Celtic and Rangers in the Champions League. We'll be with Hearts in whichever of the European competitions that they end up in terms of the group stages. Their play so far tonight, Alan Preston, has been deserving of it being the Europa League, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've been excellent, Richard, all throughout the part. I was worried about 3 lefties in the back 4, but they've been magnificent. Devlin in the middle of the park has broke a lot up as well when Zurich have tried to break. Forrest has been very, very good on one side and Mackay on the other. Just that boy's chance, he'll rue that if Hearts don't go through, because that for him, and a striker of his quality, that's a real bad miss for him. But Hearts have been excellent, really good, and it's more of the same again. Just keep getting the ball to Forrest, keep getting the ball to Mackay, and if they can, take their chances, because there's this Zurich team on that opening 45 minutes are nothing to be scared of, really. They've not really posed any threat for Hearts, but 45 minutes still to go, and they still need to get a goal, Hearts.
Yeah, we said earlier, and Alan made the point, agreed with him totally, Craig. You just wondered, you assumed that this Zurich team was actually capable. They won the Swiss League last season, were capable of causing Hearts real problems. What we've seen tonight is why they are bottom of the Swiss League right now, I guess.
Yeah, that's the place that they're in, and the table never lies. That's what they say, don't they? Yeah. So I've been surprised by the sort of toothless nature of their attacking. Hearts I was worried about Halkett being out of the team, but Hearts have mopped everything up really, really comfortably. And I think there's one shot at goal. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly nothing that's caused any trouble at all.
But not just that. Yeah, not just one, but they've hardly been in Hearts half.
Yeah. Well, long may that continue. Long may that continue. I know they're making a change at half-time. I will look out for that. Certainly, it seems it's the number 16 Hornshoe who is coming on at the stadium. They'll be in a better position to see exactly what that change is about to be. It's goalless. Frustratingly, it's goalless at half-time, because Hearts have been very, very good and certainly deserving of being in front in this one. Still 2-1 for Zurich on aggregate then, as we rejoin our commentary team. Craig's there, Al's there, and so too is Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Richards. Yeah, I think it's going to be a double change at half-time actually for the Swiss. Certainly Mark Hornshoe and Tom English's favourite Wilfried Gnonto are stripped, and we're out doing a bit of a warm-up there at half-time, so just waiting to see the numbers board being held up to establish exactly who's off. Hearts are as they were at the start of the game, which is Craig Gordon in goal, Michael Smith, Kai Rowles, Stephen Kingsley and Alex Cochrane, and Alan Forrest, Cammy Devlin, George Grant, Barry Mackay, Liam Boyce and Lawrence Shankland. Number 17 is the one player who's being replaced, which is Clondy, and then also going off, can't even make out that number. I think it was actually the number of Donis Adriai.
Yeah, 18 off.
So certainly Gnonto will replace Adriai up front, and it will be FC Zurich to get us back underway, shooting from right to left as we look at it from the back of the Wheatfield stand. Hearts looking to dominate the second period as they did the first, but crucially they need to find a goal to show for that dominance, at least one goal. Here's Liam Boyce, who passed up the best opportunity of the first half, can't keep control of the ball, and it's gone all the way back through to Yannick Breker, the Swiss goal. And certainly they will be looking to have more of an impact in the game. As the guys were saying, they barely threatened Craig Gordon. He hasn't had a save to make. Long may that continue, clearly, as Michael Smith prepares to take the throw in on the near side, the Hearts right. Down the right it goes. It's Shanklin back to Forrest, who was excellent in that first half. Lost possession there though, and it's not forward, and Kingsley will just have to be careful here. Just touches it back to Gordon. Gordon takes one touch and then gets it out to the left hand side to Cochrane. Cochrane goes long. Rather aimless ball, that one from Cochrane, and then there's a poor challenge going in there by Shanklin. I think he maybe slipped as he challenged Kraezu there to give him the benefit of the doubt. He immediately certainly was apologising, but he has been shown the yellow card. It was a poor tackle, Craig.
I'm not so sure. Like you, I think he slipped.
Yeah.
I think he did lose his balance. His studs maybe gave way, and he's bundled into the Zurich player. But he has received a yellow card.
And a free kick the way of the visitors, just inside their own half. Just looking at the position that Mark Hornshaw has taken up. Had him down as a centre back, but he is playing in that defensive midfield role that Condé was operating in as Hearts come forward. Shanklin for Boyce, and now out to the right hand side to Forrest. Forrest back into the feet of Boyce, about 25 yards from goal. Can't hold on to possession though. Guerrero gets it away, and forward comes Zurich. It's a good challenge by Kingsley on Vunik, but he's back to his feet before Kingsley is, and he still continues. Vunik, the Ukrainian, into the left hand side of the penalty area.
Oh, that's a bad challenge,
comes Rowles, and cuts out the danger, and it will be a free kick the way of Hearts, because Vunik took him out of play there as he cleared up the danger. And I think the point that Michael Smith is making to the referee is that surely he should be booked if Lawrence Shanklin was booked for a challenge not too dissimilar a minute ago.
No, it looked a really heavy challenge on Rowles there, and just seen it live.
It was no different to the previous challenge, Alan, was it? In fact, it's probably worse.
Honestly, it's worse. That's a minimum of a yellow card. Really late with it.
Strange decision by the referee to let that one go, I have to say, who has been generally on the ball, as it were, in this game so far. The Belgian referee, Lawrence Visser, but no yellow for Vunik on that occasion. Just as there was a good bit of defending actually from Rowles, because Vunik was making some real headway inside the Hearts penalty area. Here come the Swiss again. It's Guerrero forward. Vunik nudges it back to Nonto. Vunik once more for Marquesano, just couldn't quite collect it, and it's going to be pulled back for a free kick, for a foul on Vunik. But Zurich looking better at the start of this second period.
I was just going to make that point, and that was the best passage of play that they've had up to this point. Actually, they looked very sharp and very accurate with their passing. The first half they were very sloppy. I wonder if they've had to boot up the backside at half time and told to go out and at least show some fight.
Well, certainly the way they were playing the first half, it seemed only a matter of time before they went behind on the night, with Hearts dominating the way they were. But they have a chance here with a free kick. It's about 28 yards from goal, left of centre. Vunik himself is over it, as is Guerrero, the man who scored the equaliser on last Thursday. So a chance here. It will be Vunik to hit it well over the top from the Ukrainian, and it remains with 4.5 minutes of the second half played. Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0.
Yeah, but they have started the second half the better. Zurich, they seem to be squeezing Hearts. They're pushed up. You can see as soon as there's Craig Gordon playing it out to Kingsley, they're going to try and match up if they can, attach to a Hearts player and don't let Hearts out.
There's Boyce inside his own half. Back to Cochrane, who launches a good looking ball in the direction of Barry Mackay, but it just in the end and slightly too much on it. Barry Mackay couldn't pull it out of the air. It would have been a tough thing to do, and it's out for a throw on the far side. 50 minutes on the clock. Hearts nil, Zurich nil. 2-1 the Tynecastle side trail on aggregate as they look to get into the Europa League group stage and join the likes of Arsenal, Man U, Roma, Betis, Lazio, Feyenoord, Monaco, Real Sociedad. Big names of European football who could potentially be here at Tynecastle if Hearts can turn this around, and it's not beyond them, that's for sure. We've seen that in the first half, but what they haven't been able to do is get the goals that will see them through. Here's Boyce getting a flick on, looking for Shanklin. It breaks the way of Grant. Great control by Mackay into the penalty, pokes at a goal, but saved by Brecker. He had to hold on to that inside his 6-yard box with Shanklin lurking, and he did. But Mackay, he just seemed to toe poke that almost. There was a chance. He took it so early, Craig, but the keeper equal to it.
It was brilliant play by Mackay. It was a difficult ball to control, and he managed just to get it into his path, shift it, and get a really good shot off. And the goalkeeper actually did really well to hold on to it.
Back it goes to Yannick Brecker, the Swiss captain. And launches it long over the halfway line, rolls underneath it. Mackay helps it on. Shanklin was offside though. Flags up on this near side.
I think this is when you look, Craig, at the bench, you think, who can they bring on to get a goal that they need? Lack of strikers again, lack of forward players really. They've got Giannelli, who he played there on Sunday, but he's not a natural striker really.
Yeah, I mean, you might see Giannelli as one of the front players. He's got speed though, Alan, hasn't he? So that's one thing that it would bring to the Hearts team. But you're right, they don't have many options. And Connor Smith's an attacking player, but he's not a number 9. He's not a winger. He's more of a number 10. So, and he's a young lad with little experience. So they've probably got their best team on the pitch at the moment.
To be fair, at the moment, although they've not got the goal, that they had been playing well, certainly first half. You wouldn't say a change is absolutely necessary just at the moment, would you?
Not right now, no.
No, I would agree, but come to the stage where you're maybe 15 to go and it's still 0-0. You need forward-thinking players on.
And you need to start thinking about it, sort of 20 minutes before you do it.
There speaks the voice of experience, Craig Levine, former Hearts and Scotland manager. There's Alex Corkin, Rowles and Kingsley at the back. Just inside their own half, it's Kingsley bringing it forward up to the halfway line, plays it square again for Corkin. Played 8 minutes in this second half. Hearts yet to trouble Zurich, but here they might have a chance to do so. It's Forrest just inside the penalty area. Outside of him is Grant with a nutmeg. But he's taken it easy. What's the referee going to give her? He's given a free kick to Zurich. He's obviously decided Grant has dived. Well, the assistant referee has been brought into play here, and the referee is going to go and book George Grant for a dive. Well, he's in a great position on the right hand side of the... Oh, it's a second yellow. George Grant booked in the first half, and Hearts are down to 10 men, and Alan Preston's across having a look at a replay. You can hear what the home fans think of it. We've not had a chance to look at it yet, Craig, but what was your first instinct?
I thought he made contact, I really did. I mean, if he has dived, and the cameras prove that, then he deserves to.
Okay, I've seen them given. He nutmegs the player, lovely, and then he goes in. But yes, he goes down. But I've seen them given, but I've also seen them booking for falling down like that. He's maybe on his way down slightly.
Well, that is a big call from the referee, and you have to say, if you're on a yellow card, it's a foolish move to be looking for a penalty.
I thought it was a foolish move not to just put the ball in the box. He had an opportunity just to throw it in, and he tried to nutmeg the player along the line, and he made that much more difficult than it was.
Here's Nonto looking to add insult to injury for Hearts. Nonto at the edge of the box, gets the shot away, trundles into the arms of Craig Gordon, but 10-man Hearts have it all to do at Tynecastle. 0-0 on the night, 2-1 the trail in the tie. But George Grant, who I thought had a very good game up to this point, given a second booking in the game and shown a red card by the Belgian referee, and it's task is all that much tougher.
Yeah, the
now.
thing is now, I mean, Robbie's going 4-4-1. At times like these, or maybe later on, he might even go 4-3-2 and have a go, because really he needs to score.
Yeah, he's going to have to have a go at some point, but maybe not just now. Just too far out for Kingsley.
Well, it is a free kick to Hearts. It's a good, at least 35, maybe more, from goal.
Kingsley doesn't think it's too far out. He's lining it up.
Yeah, it's very central. And if anyone can hit them from this distance, it's...
I've always wondered this. See, when it's as far out as this, why would a goalkeeper have a wall, Craig? Because to hit that in the top corner, putting a wall up gives you something to move it round.
In fairness to the keeper, he's only got 2 in the wall rather than 4.
Kingsley's asking for it to be moved back a bit, and the referee is just telling him to get on with it. Doesn't look 10, but here's Kingsley, steps up left-footed, is on target, but he didn't get really any power behind it. It's a comfortable take for Brecker. 11 minutes played in the second half. 10-man Hearts with George Grant sent off. 0, FC Zurich 0. 2-1, the Swiss side lead on aggregate. Forward they come, and things might begin to open up for them a little bit more now. It's Guerrero on the left-hand side. Time to think about where he wants to put the cross. It's well defended though by Kingsley at the near post. Forrest will try and pick up. Can't gather though, and it's all the way back from Selnej to Brecker in goal. And then launched forward by Krajeju out to the right-hand side. Forward comes Zurich. It's Boranijazovic up against Cochrane, and eventually the Hearts defender wins that particular battle. It goes behind for a goal kick. Craig Gordon thinks better of retrieving the ball in front of the Zurich fans with the flares on the go and so on. And so another ball is sought and play resumes once more. Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0 in this Europa League playoff round, second leg. 2-1 down from the first leg. Shankland linking with Mackay on the left-hand side. Mackay, this is when they need inspiration from the likes of him. He's past 2 players, trying to squeeze the cross in for Shankland, and it's just cut out by Krajeju, who has been excellent at the heart of the Zurich defence, and he's had to be at times, it has to be said, as the ball's launched long up to Vunik and then picked up by Nonto. Nonto out to the left-hand side for Guerrero. We're seeing a bit more of Zurich as an attacking force, particularly now that Hearts are a man down with George Grant sent off. Vunik is down on the ground over on the far side, and the referee is halting play. He is pointing to his watch to say, I'm stopping my watch, but you never seem to quite get the time back that's wasted, do you?
Yeah, like cramp in 57 minutes, a professional football player.
But why is Cochrane helping him?
And why is the referee stopping the game for cramp in any case?
Just drag him off the side of the pitch.
Surely, if it's a head knock, that's one thing. Someone going down with cramp off the ball is not worth stopping play, is it? Anyhow, Vunik is being treated, as you say, Alan. You would never have been down with
no, but
cramp.
No, I would have been. I
I
certainly would have been, but not inside an hour. I'd be ashamed of myself as a professional football player if you're off within 57 minutes of a game with cramp.
Well, I'm saying nothing, although I was never a professional. Far from it.
This is the start of it.
Yeah,
this is the start of it.
Of course.
We spoke about it in the first half even, that this is what's going to happen between now and the end of the match.
Yeah, more and more.
There's nothing wrong with him. Look, he's up, he's walking on the pitch again.
And the ball's back with the visitors on the halfway line. Almost an hour played at Tynecastle, and Hearts couldn't find the goal when they were on top, and now that they find themselves down to 10 men, it's going to be all that much more difficult to do so, but not impossible. Krajeju with a cool bit of defending just drags the ball away from Shankland and then knocks it forward to Nonto, and then it's helped on by Guerrero for Marquesano. Marquesano up towards the edge of the penalty. Nonto can't get his cross in. It was a bit like Boyce's in the opening few minutes, just miskicked with the left foot, but back comes Zurich once more. It's Metz for Marquesano, and all of a sudden they seem to be enjoying the game a whole lot more than they were the first half. 0-0 it stands on the night. 2-1 down Hearts are, as The substitute Hornshaw picks up down the right hand side. It's a good ball in. Kingsley stretches to knock it behind for a corner with Munich making his way into the 6-yard box, looking to get on the end of the cross, but Kingsley did well. 0-0.
It's taken a little bit of time, Zurich, to actually realise they've got an extra man and start to pass the ball. That's the first, since Grant went off, that's the first time they've actually passed it and played 5 or 6 passes. Previously they've just launched the ball long, and when you've got an extra man, surely you've got to use him.
Corner kick from the right hand side to be taken by Florin Jazovic, and it's knocked behind once more by Michael Smith. Marquesano will try again from the corner from the right hand side, and the FC Zurich fans in close proximity to him fancy that if they can get a goal here, the tie would be all but over. Marquesano, low trajectory away by Kingsley. Out by Cernage to Marquesano once more on the right hand side, just knocks it back the way to the halfway line, and FC Zurich in no great hurry to go forward. It's going to be a bit of activity on the Hearts bench. We'll hear about that from Brian McLaughlin just in a moment as Nonto picks up, goes down. It'll be a throw-in. Let's hear about the changes, Brian.
Yeah, there's going to be a change. First of all, I think it's going to be for Zurich. Ajin Tosin is the player ready to come on. It'll be no surprise if Munich is the player coming off. Peter Haring and Josh Ginnelly just receiving final instructions from Robbie Nielsen. I'll let you know in a moment, Al, who's coming off.
Thanks, Brian. Michael Smith takes the throw-in, just over an hour played. Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0. Hearts with the 10 men. George Grant red carded, second yellow, the second one shown for simulation in the penalty area, and Alan Preston's seen it back, and a good Hearts man, and he wasn't too vehement about it in his defence of George Grant. I think that maybe says it all. And there's a stoppage in play, and it will be a chance for the change to happen. It's Fidan Aliti who will replace Munich, so that's something of a defensive move from Zurich. Aliti is a centre back, and the striker Munich going off with under half an hour to play.
Is this Haring coming on? Haring, could that Craig maybe shift him into a back three?
Perhaps. We'll just wait and see what he's planning to do.
Well, I think the numbers that went up there on the boards were wrong, actually, because it's Aygun Toshin who's come on, and he is up front, so it is a straight swap, to be fair. Boyce goes off to be replaced by Haring. And the next Hearts change, we'll see Josh Ginnelly come on, and off will go Alan Forrest, who hasn't really been able to make the same impact in this second period as he did in the first, and Ginnelly will have the opportunity to try and do so. Well, how do you think those changes, Alan, will affect Hearts setup?
Well, I'm just trying to see where Haring's going to go, but he's walked round, he's spoken to Rowells, to Cochrane, to Smith, and now to Mackay, so I'm just going to see where he's going to play.
Looks like still a 4, Al.
Yeah. But Mackay seems to be the one that's going to try and get up there with Ginnelly to support Shanklin if he can. He's come off his wing.
Here's Rowells at the back for Hearts. They trail 2-1 on aggregate. Devlin with a poor touch but a good recovery challenge. Marquesano didn't like it, but the referee thought it was fine. And Devlin picks up once more, plays it back to Rowells on the edge of his own penalty area. He clips it forward, looking for Mackay. That'll be picked up though by Omar Agic. Out of play. And Hearts will have the throw-in. Played almost 20 minutes of the second period, still goalless on the night. Hearts trailing by 2-1, but remember, they're down to 10 after the dismissal of George Grant, and they haven't been able to impose their authority on the second period in the same way as they were in the first, largely down to
but Zurich aren't doing anything now. I mean,
I think they're happy just as it sits. They'll quite happily walk away with a 0-0.
Exactly. I mean, that's dangerous, isn't it? I mean, one mistake, a penalty or something like that, and You know, and you're in extra time. I suppose they've got the extra man for extra time as well, but they've not been impressive.
Here they come though. Borijazovic back to Nonto on the edge of the penalty area. He nudges it back to Selnej and then gets it back once more himself, the young Italian. Out to the left hand side for Guerrero. Nonto once more. Pick up, plays it infield for Selnej. And onto the back of the halfway line for Kreuzu. Now it's Omeragic forward for Nonto up towards the edge of the penalty area, into the penalty area. On his right foot, tries to curl one, good save. Craig Gordon pushes it away to the far side where Borijazovic picks up, tracked by Cochrane. Comes off the Hearts man last, and it'll be a throw in to Hearts. Good save from Craig Gordon, but I think he saw it all the way you'd expect him, a goalkeeper of his calibre, to make that save. But Nonto certainly showing what he can do.
Yeah, he's made a difference, Nonto, since he's come on. He's got pace, you know, he's very direct. It's a good hit, and we're right behind it, but a comfortable save for Craig Gordon.
This is the best I've seen Cochrane play, Alan. I think he's been excellent.
He's a good player, Craig, he really is. You know, he's a great athlete, he can get up and down. He's a good user of the ball as well. He's a good defender, and he's just a young lad.
Craig Gordon's been hit by something that's come from the Zurich fans. He's down holding his head as he went to retrieve the ball over on that far side, and the referee's having to come across to the Hearts keeper to check he's okay. But those Zurich fans who have been exuberant throughout have taken it too far, throwing things onto the pitch, and Craig Gordon quite clearly has felt something.
He's got to then go and tell the match official, surely, the referee.
Well,
looks like he's picked something up and he's handing it to one of the stewards.
Well, it's a poor show, to say the least.
He has to tell, yeah, there he goes over to tell. He's looking for the... Is it the fourth official over there? He's now speaking to the manager of Zurich.
Well, it's one thing enjoying yourselves on a European trip abroad, but
is this the captain as well? See the captain, the goalie?
Yeah. The referee speaking to Yannick Breker right now, and Breker just going back into his own goal. He's at the opposite end, and the manager's actually walking down the touchline, Franco Foda, presumably to have a word with some of the fans behind that goal. I don't think he's necessarily the most popular figure amongst the Zurich fans after their start to the season since he took over in the summer. Richard in the studio has probably got the best view of all of us. You're watching the TV pictures. Rich, what can you add to what we know?
Yeah, he was hit on the head, and it looked like it wasn't a large object, Al. It might have been a coin, and if it was, then that would have been very sore indeed coming from the back of the stand. But yeah, absolutely, he stepped across there, and you can see it quite clearly hitting the back of Craig Gordon's head. So the good news is that he seems to be fine. But just the kind of incident that we could do without, clearly, and that Hearts could very much do without right now.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for adding a bit of clarity to that. Since, while you were talking, there's a booking there for Ollie Selnej of FC Zurich after Haring went down in an aerial collision, and it will be a Hearts free kick midway inside the Zurich half. 10-man Hearts. The George Grant sent off for a second yellow. 0, FC Zurich 0, 2-1. The Swiss champions leads in the tie. As the Hearts prepare to take the free kick. Cochrane or Mackay, who will it be? It will be Mackay, right-footed, dinks it to the back post, headed back across goal. There is the substitute, Ayugun, to knock it away. Picked up though by Cochrane on the left-hand side. Marquesano slides in and knocks it out for a throw-in down near the corner flag. Quickly taken by Cochrane. Just over 20 to play at Tynecastle. Hearts still looking for that one goal that they require. Shanklin heads it back across goal, but it's an easy take for Breker under no pressure whatsoever, and still Hearts search for the opener. Forward comes Nonto. As Alan says, he has made a difference. He's looked sharp and bright and full of purpose down this left-hand side. But can't say that about the majority of the Zurich team, who are happy just to pop the ball about. But they are leading by 2-1 in the tie and entitled to do just that. Nonto picks up once more on the left-hand side to run at Michael Smith, who's backing off him, encouraging him into the penalty area. Plays a short ball. Nonto goes for the return, but it was a poor return, or attempted return pass from Guerrero, and Hearts are able to clear over the halfway line, but it's more difficult to make it stick now with the 10 men, as Mackay claims the ball came off Omaragic's last. The referee disagrees. It will be a Zurich throw-in, and well, with Ginelli and Haring already on, there are not too many more options on that Hearts bench with which to try and change the game. Gary Mackay-Steven is perhaps one you would consider in an attacking sense, and as Craig mentioned, young Connor Smith, but it would be a big ask to throw a young player like that on and ask him to make much of a difference on a night like this with so much at stake. And it looks at the moment though Hearts might well have to settle for the Europa Conference League alongside the likes of still some very big names. Anderlecht, the conquerors of Dundee United, AZ Alkmaar, Fiorentina in there. So there'll still be some really big nights at Tynecastle, but they wanted the Europa League, and they still might get it, you never know. Under 20 to play though. Here's Marquesano for Zurich on the halfway line, infield to Nonto, taken down by Devlin. Devlin penalised just inside.
There he goes.
Hearts off, and Nonto staying down. Wasn't a whole lot in that, but
the ref's been fair, I think, today. I think he's let a lot of things go, but I think he's been very fair to both sides.
I think the only one he's missed, Craig, is the Raoul's challenge in the box. That's been about it. That's the only one he's really missed.
FC Zurich in possession on the halfway line. It's Metz for Kraezu. Well, on this evidence, certainly if Zurich do go into the Europa League, I don't think they're going to make a massive dent in it.
I think they'll win the championship next season, the second division championship.
They might have a chance at that. They only avoided relegation the season before last on the penultimate day of the season, and then of course last year went on to completely turn it around and win the title.
Here's a question for you. How many yellow cards have Zurich, how many players have had a yellow card?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Who are still on the field, by my calculation, just a couple. In fact, actually, no, one of them's already been replaced, because that was Condé, wasn't it? Condé's also just Selnage, as far as I can tell.
Need to try and get him sent off.
Okay. Well, that's one tactic, certainly. Ball's back with Brecker in the FC Zurich penalty area. Well, the Swiss keeper plays it out short to Kraezu, and then back to the keeper, and he swings it out to the left-hand side. Metz will just keep it in, knocks it forward. Marquesano combines with Guerrero. Guerrero out to the right-hand side, picked up or left by Nonto. Rana Jazovic will come forward into a central area from the right-hand side. Now Marquesano out towards the edge of the penalty area, and Guerrero had checked out the run. It goes tamely through to Craig Gordon, and the home fans who came here with such hope, such belief that their side could turn it round, are now getting more and more anxious and anguished at the way the game is going. And it goes back to the point I made earlier on about not scoring when you're on top. Here's Ginelli though, trying to do something down the left-hand side, up against Omaragic, and he played it off him, and it will be a Hearts corner, and maybe a set piece. Craig is about their best bet just at the moment.
Yeah, and the thing for me is that the Zurich are panicking. I mean, they're trying to play out. They make 2 or 3 passes. As soon as they get under any pressure at all, they just play it along. I mean, they've got an extra man, and you would not know it. I think this is still possible.
Corner kick then from the left-hand side. Mackay swings it in, up went Rowles to challenge, but couldn't direct the header on target. Well off target in the end, and it remains with 15 minutes of the 90 left. It's Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0. Alan's their way back in this tie for you.
I'm just looking at the bench, and with the exception of Mackay-Steven, he's the really only forward-thinking player that you would think with a bit of experience but he's not been playing well for a number of months. You know, at Hearts into last season and then even the start of this season, he's not been great. But it just shows you that Hearts need to add players. They need to add 3 or 4 players to make this squad, because Robbie's looking at his bench and what he has is that's all he's got really that's left on the pitch.
Yeah, really only Craig Halkett to come back from injury. It's not like there's a raft of players out to...
Beningame, once they get him back.
That's true, he'll be back. I think after the World Cup they're hoping that he'll be able to return to first team action after a lengthy absence. Guerrero has it for FC Zurich on the halfway line. Haring though doing really well to press and win possession. Down the right hand side he goes, forward for Shanklin, but Shanklin's drifted offside. And it's poor from the striker if he had gone too early. And it will be a free kick to Zurich, and it takes the pressure right off them after Haring had done so well, Craig.
Yeah, but I mean, Hearts are a team that are playing with real urgency. I think Zurich's tactics are just to try and hold on.
Looking that way, Brian's got news of a change which we'll get in just a moment. FC Zurich in possession just in the halfway line. Ball played infield by Metz to Selnej, who Craig wants to get a second yellow anytime would do. Here they come though, and it's a good effort from distance, well, a powerful effort, but over the top from Toshin Aigun, and we can go to Brian for news of the change.
Ready for about the last 2 or 3 minutes or so. I'm not quite sure who's coming off it. Could be Michael Smith. He was signalling to the bench around 5 minutes ago that his time may be up, but yeah, certainly Toby Civic's ready to come on.
Thanks Brian. Hearts have it in the middle of the park. It's Haring back to Smith just inside his own half. Now Kingsley, square for Rowles, closed down by Nonto, has to go back to his goalkeeper. Craig Gordon launches it long up towards Shankland, beaten by Kraezu though, and it falls kindly for Guerrero on the left hand side. 13 to play, Hearts 0, FC Zurich 0, 2-1 to the Swiss on aggregate. As things stand, Hearts dropping into the Europa Conference League group stage, the draw for which will take place tomorrow. Hornshaw with a loose ball forward, and it looks like Zurich are going to make a change as well. But here is that Hearts one. It's actually Stephen Kingsley who's coming off. He had missed the start of the season with injury, so perhaps just a precaution there. As Civic comes on to take his place at the heart of the Hearts defence, and Brian, an FC Zurich sub.
Yeah, Fabian Rohner, who came off the bench last weekend, is also ready to come on again. Noel will get details of who's coming off shortly.
Okay, thanks Brian. 12 minutes left on the clock as Civic gets his first touch on the edge of the penalty area, knocks it back to Craig Gordon. Out of play though from the Hearts skipper as the smoke from the Zurich flares engulfs Craig Gordon's goal mouth, and here is that change, and it's Antonio Marquesano who's been replaced by Fabian Rohner. Just a case of freshening up, I think, for the visitors as they try, as Craig says, really just to see this game out. There's no real effort from them to really push for a goal that would kill Hearts off altogether at this stage, and well, we just have to hope that comes back to bite them. It's out for a throw-in to Zurich on this near side. Guerrero takes it back the way to Metz, closed down by Shanklin, but it gets a big switch to Boran Jazovic and plays it forwards for Aigun up against Civic. Aigun gets the shot away off the outside of the post and wide. A let off for Hearts, and a real good effort from the young striker who's just come on, got a hat-trick in the weekend in the Cup, and almost had one tonight, Craig Levine.
Yeah, I really think that the Hearts are going to have to take chances in it, and it will open the game up, and there's every chance that Zurich will go on and get another goal, but at this stage you've got to take risks.
Yeah, push men forward, have a go. They've been excellent, Craig. They've been really good, Hearts. They have been. The sending off has clearly changed the game, but Hearts were excellent.
Here's Nonto up against Civic, left hand side of the penalty area, trying to get the better of Civic. It breaks the way of Rohner, and there is the goal. that sends FC Zurich into the Europa League group stage and knocks Hearts into the Conference League. He's just on the park. It might well have been his first touch, Fabian Runner, as he lashed it past Craig Gordon at his near post. Too much power for the Hearts keeper to be able to react. It's Hearts 0, FC Zurich 1, and it's 3-1 to the Swiss on aggregate.
One word for that, travesty. I mean, Hearts have been so much on top in this match. I mean, you could say that they've been the architects of their own downfall by not scoring when they had opportunities, but I think they've played really well. I really do.
Yeah, they've been excellent, and even that goal, Craig, you'll see it, he turns Sibbick inside out, then he just knocks the ball, and Sibbick is really unlucky. It comes off him right into the path of the Zurich player.
Yeah.
And it's a good finish at the near post, but the Hearts have been great. They have been very, very, very good. They went to the Conference League, that's where they go, and more packed Tynecastle's coming.
Yeah, well, it'll feel sore for a spell, but certainly there will be some good nights to be had back here in the Europa Conference League. But there's no doubt that the Europa League is the more illustrious competition, and that's where Robbie Nielsen and his players.
It is, but there is some solace for me, the fact that going into an easier competition, there's a chance of getting more victories, for it being a good experience, and then try and build on it next time round.
There's Mackay looking to find a way through for Shankland, can't do so though, and Zurich clear the lines. But with 8.5 minutes left to play, it would take a monumental turnaround in this game for Hearts to be able to salvage anything from it and take it to extra time.
But it shows you, the Swiss champions, there's nothing to be scared of, at this level. Yeah, if you get the likes of Romas or teams like that, West Ham's, that's different, but certainly not. Hearts have been every bit as good as Zurich.
Yeah, West Ham will be one of the potential opponents in the conference. A number of big teams in there, Villarreal, another one, Slavia Prague. Here's Mackay on the edge of the penalty area. 8 minutes to play, Hearts trail by 2 on aggregate. As Cochrane picks up on the left-hand side, it comes, Shankland couldn't gather. It'll come to Michael Smith though, and he gets it all wrong. It was a defender's finish, you have to say. Slices it high and wide, and he's hurt himself in the process, and it will remain Hearts 0, FC Zurich 1.
I think he's had a bit of cramp there.
He's allowed it. 10 men have been playing minutes, 82 minutes.
Yeah, and he didn't lie down for 5 minutes.
Exactly,
either.
He's back up. But see, this is as well, Craig. They played St Johnstone on Sunday, and they're already 2 players down because of suspension. Halkett's out as well, and this is where a bigger squad comes into it.
Barana Jazovic has a good ball. Ayegin's header is saved by Craig Gordon. It was more or less straight at him. Good save nonetheless, but Zurich trying to make the damage even worse for Hearts.
I'm being serious. I don't know if Craig Gordon's shouting at the referee that he can't see the ball.
Yeah, with that smoke.
With the smoke.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Ball's played out to Nonto, but he's offside. 7 minutes to play, Hearts 0, Zurich 1.
Alan, here's a question for you. I mean, this is a sort of perennial problem for Celtic or Rangers getting into Europe, and they were waiting to qualify for the group stages before they invested the money. They wouldn't invest the money before they guaranteed the income, if you understand. So I just wonder if Hearts were waiting to see if they got through. Mind you, saying that, they've already got the conference.
That's what I'm saying. It's 2 points.
So it's maybe not the same amount of money coming in, but at the same time there's still guaranteed money coming in.
Every day, Craig, you're running out of quality players.
I agree with you.
And there's no point bringing players in that are off the same standard. You want to try and improve.
You have to bring better players, or there's no point. I found that out many times to my cost.
Well, we are going to see Connor Smith for the final 6 minutes of the game. He's just come on to replace Cam Devlin, who was certainly excellent in the first half, but like most of his teammates, the sending off impacted his ability to impose himself on the second period. Has rather drifted out of it. Here comes Zurich down the right hand side. Chance here for the cutback. Sibbick though is in the way before Aygin could pounce. As Runner headed down, and then as a free kick awarded to Hearts deep in their own territory. Just over 5 minutes to play. This game is surely gone for Hearts. The tie is gone. 1-0 they trail in the night. 3-1 in aggregate as the ball is headed back to Brecker in the Zurich goal. It's not been a A vintage performance certainly by the Swiss champions, and Hearts will.
Oh, it's fine margins. You know, that chance in the first half where the defender comes sliding in. You know, it's like a goal for him. His tackle, it's magnificent blocking in the boy's header. Really fine margins.
For me, though, it's quite clear that this is not a good side that Hearts are playing against today. I don't know what's happened between them winning the league last season, and I know they've lost a few players, but I mean, Robbie will be gutted that he hasn't managed to get through in this tie.
Yeah, it's a chance missed, isn't it? Really is. Here's Nonto coming forward onto the right foot, edge of the box, gets a shot away a couple of yards wide of Craig Gordon's right hand post. 4.5 minutes to play. Hearts 0, FC Zurich 1.
You look at Michael Smith, he looks absolutely shattered.
Yeah, he's getting on a bit, Michael, isn't he?
He's been brilliant, Craig. Great signing.
Yeah.
33 now, and I wonder if he'll be rested on Sunday when they play St Johnstone back here at Tynecastle on the weekend. Nathaniel Atkinson couldn't well get the shout in place of Michael Smith. Here comes Zurich. Roner linking with Borana Jazovic down the right hand side. Plays the ball square for Guerrero. Guerrero 25 yards from goal, clips it in towards the back post. Craig Gordon comes off his line and immediately throws it out to Haring. Haring for Mackay. Mackay just pokes it forward. Ginelli's on his heels, and Maragic wasn't, and he nips in to take possession away from the Hearts forward. And it's been comfortable this for Zurich ever since certainly that killer third goal in the tie went in. I wonder to what extent Robbie Nielsen will rue Craig. We were talking last week when you say Hearts went 1 up and then just seemed to sit in and didn't really go for it when they had the advantage in the tie.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that was the intention. You know, I said that last week as well. I think sometimes when an away leg in Europe, if you've never been in that situation, you try and protect the 1 goal lead without the manager telling you that. So because a lot of them hadn't been in that situation before, I think they got a little bit scared and defended more than they should have done. They should have been a little bit more attacking, and the display by Zurich tonight sort of confirms that for me.
Yep, they were there for the taking, I think, but they have done just enough to get past Hearts. 10 men of Hearts. George Grant sent off early in the second half. It was really the pivotal moment in the tie.
Michael Smith is toiling really badly.
Well, he's got a couple of minutes left in the 90 to survive if he can. Here's Ayegun trying to get through. Haring with a sliding challenge, and then Civic knocks it clear. But Haring's run into bother, and Ayegun has it back, and it's Borana Jazovic on the right hand side approaching the penalty area. Not with any great gusto, you'd have to say. It's Hornshoe and then backed away, and FC Zurich know that they will take their place in tomorrow's Europa League group stage draw. Hearts will be in the subsequent Europa Conference League draw, and we'll have 3 Scottish teams in Europe right up until the break for the World Cup in November. And it's been a while since I've been able to say that. Here is Guerrero for FC Zurich as they just wind down the clock, really. Hearts unable to get any decent possession. And here comes Ayegun again. He'll go for it from distance again. This time he's hit the goal scorer. And it's knocked away. Roner in the way of his own man's shot there. But it's a game of keep ball at the moment for FC Zurich. Hearts can't get close to them. Here's Guerrero, the man who equalised in the first leg, out to Nonto on the left-hand side, up against Smith. Smith, despite being extremely tired and feeling cramp in his calves, it appears, knocks it behind for a corner kick, and then just brushes Nonto aside as well, as there's something thrown on in his direction as well, and we don't want to see that from the Hearts fans either, as time ticks away. And I think probably, Alan, just at this stage, Hearts would just take the full-time whistle.
Yeah, don't want any more injuries if they can help it. Their squad is very, very thin on the ground with suspensions and injuries. Well, that's enough. The game's done. Zurich are through. Don't think deserved, to be honest, but they're through.
Guerrero to take the corner kick from the left-hand side as we pass the 90-minute mark. 4 minutes of added on time as the corner goes all the way through to Barry Mackay, who just prods it forward, but Ginnelly won't be able to latch onto that, and there will be a late change to be made by Zurich as they just wind the clock down, and it will be Aliti who will come on to replace Guerrero for the closing few minutes here at Tynecastle. Craig, how would you sum up the tie and especially this evening's events?
Everything changed on the sending off. Simple as that. Up until that point, Hearts had dominated the game. The stats tell you that. And unfortunate, yeah, partly at the same time a little bit wasteful in front of goal. But I do believe that if Hearts had retained 11 men on the field, that they'd be celebrating a victory this evening.
Yeah, it's if buts and maybes though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Unfortunately for Hearts, as Aliti picks up on the left-hand side in non-toe. Plays it infield for Selnej, and out to the right-hand side to Boran Jazovic onto the left foot, gets the shot away off target though. Goal kick to Hearts, remains Hearts 0, Zurich 1. Craig Gordon still in a hurry, even though it looks to be over for Hearts, but again, good defending at the back by Creaziu. Nothing's really got away from him. It was him that got that crucial block in on Forrest in the opening period, and that has really summed up his night, Alan.
I think he's been excellent. I really do. He's been their best player for me. Them substitutes come on and done well as well. Nondo, he's contributed. I've got to say their centre half's been excellent.
Kosovan international Milan Creaziu in the heart of that defence. There's an offside flag up against the goal scorer Roner, and this game really is just drifting towards full-time. Hearts pretty much know there's no way back for them. Zurich know that they've done enough. Played a couple of minutes of the 4 of stoppage time. Here's Connor Smith forward for Shankland, out to the left-hand side to Mackay. It'd be terrific if they could even get a goal back and draw on the night, just to give them some sort of consolation. They certainly don't deserve to lose both legs, as it looks like they're about to do, but Honshu in possession, and then Omar Agic picks up. Now it is Creaziu out to the left-hand side for Aliti, couldn't keep it in, and it will be a Hearts throw-in just inside the Zurich half. A minute to play of added on time, and then Hearts' fate will be sealed into the Europa Conference League. They will go. First time they'll be in European competition proper since the 06-07 UEFA Cup, when they lost in the first round to Slavia Prague under Valdas Ivanauskas. Robbie Nielsen played that evening, and they will be back in the big time, if you like. It's certainly not a defeat of the embarrassing nature of the last one to Birkirkara, the last time they were in Europe a few years ago under Robbie Nielsen.
No, and I think they're a good side, I really do. And Alan's right, another 2 or 3 players, quality players, I think that Hearts have got a chance on doing even better than they did last season.
And you know what, when it goes into the conference, Craig, a bit like Rangers and Celtic, they've drawn plum games. I hope Hearts get really good games as well here. You know, it'd be great if you could get, like, say, West Hams and things like that. It would be brilliant. It would
be a brilliant experience for the players, you know, and that for me is the most critical thing when you're dealing with, you know, facing competitions both domestically and also in Europe.
It's all over at Tynecastle. The evening ends in disappointment for the home fans, the home players, the home management. It wasn't to be the Europa League dream. It looked like it was very much on in the first half, which they dominated, but just couldn't find a goal. Liam Boyce passing up the best opportunity of the first half, where he headed down and over when he should have scored at the back post. And then in the second half, well, the game really turned as George Grant went down in the penalty area looking for a penalty. Instead, he picked up a second yellow, and Hearts were down to 10 men. And from that point on, they really couldn't lay a glove on their Swiss opponents. And as it was, the substitute Fabian Rohner came on with 9 minutes to play. He struck a wonderful effort past Craig Gordon to seal the victory on the night and the tie, and ensure that FC Zurich take their place in tomorrow's Europa League group stage draw. For Hearts, it will be the Europa Conference League. It is what they will consider at the moment to be the booby prize, but some more big special nights to come at Tynecastle in Europe before this year is out, no doubt of that. But unfortunately for Hearts, the full-time score at Tynecastle tonight: Hearts 0, FC Zurich 1, 3-1 on aggregate.
Hearts in